Pornhub Premium is currently free for everyone. If COVID-19 wasn't dominating the news right now, what would be some of the biggest stories be right now? Probably the oil price war actually. Saudi Arabia is trying to force the Russians into cutting production since they won't play ball with OPEC+, and US shale might pay the price as we need a high cost for this entire industry to function. One of the main routes into downtown Seattle, the West Seattle Bridge, was closed yesterday because cracks in support beams made it structurally unsound. It will take several months to fix and will not reopen until it's done. This would normally destroy the entire Seattle commute, but it happened right now, so it's barely even a blip on the local news. That Putin changed his country's constitution so he can be president until 2036. NTH room case in Korea. Telegram porno sexual slavery ring with 74 victims including underage girls. The Telegram groups have estimated at least 10 to 30,000 subscribers. The NTH room perpetrators are accused of luring victims, including minors, into sending sexually explicit photos and videos. In some cases, this escalated to using blackmail to force victims into increasingly violent acts, including sexual assault. Absolutely disgusting. I'm surprised that this news didn't get bigger internationally. Astronomer here. We might have a bright naked eye comet next month in the northern hemisphere, our first since 1997. Comet C/2019 Atlas Y4 is brightening really quickly, and by May might be one of the brightest things in the night sky. I mean, comets are notoriously tricky to predict in brightness, as it might just break apart as it gets closer to the sun. But it's really exciting to think about, albeit no one has heard about it because of the pandemic, though granted, doesn't a pandemic need a bright comet? The locusts in Africa. Well, probably not in American news. But it's still pretty big news emo. Earn It bill, it seeks to end encryption in the USA. It would be a huge hit to online free speech. The government is trying to basically ban encryption and start imprisoning website owners if their users say the wrong things. Egypt and Ethiopia are close to going to war due to Ethiopia building a dam on the Nile River. Ethiopia is diverting some water and limiting water flow to Egypt. The Ethiopian government is refusing to honor previous agreements made that detail the rate at which they will fill the lake behind their dam, and they refuse to negotiate any further with the Egyptians. Andrew Gillum, married with kids, almost became governor of Florida, was found naked high on meth and drunk in a hotel with an overt dosing male escort. The insider trading scandal in Congress. It's fucking disgraceful. Politicians shouldn't be allowed to own stock. I mean, this is blatant, but it makes you wonder how many more subtle buy and sales were done on privy information. A few people talking about blind trusts, that's probably better than not owning stocks. Assuming they don't get to choose when to buy and sell? Country leaders trying to secure their position as heads of state for an unlimited duration. Example, Russia and Ukraine. That all the millions of dollars we raised for the people affected by the bushfires in Australia has maybe vanished. I've spoken to a few people whose houses burnt down and they haven't seen a cent. Where did the money raised go, I wonder? Genocide in Myanmar. It's been going on for a while, and only recently has there been a vote on if it's a problem. Maybe not the biggest, but ones that could have gotten way more traction. Linda Fairstein sues Netflix, claiming they defamed her character with When They See Us. Greenland and Antarctica are melting 6 times faster than they were in the 1990s. China pulls credentials from journalists at 3 major US publications. Australia is recovering somewhat from the disastrous fire season, but there's still the fear the next one could be just as bad or worse. Police on Greece's border with Turkey used tear gas and water cannon to repel hundreds of migrants trying to get into the country. Tom Brady leaves the Patriots for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There was an attempted mass shooting/assault in Garden Grove, California. Teachers' union strike concerning failed negotiations. Blind man fails the citizenship test after being denied Braille. Tom Brady has quit the New England Patriots and signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The fact scientists discovered a new dinosaur that was the size of a hummingbird, and they also found a new planet behind Pluto in our solar system. The fast-tracking of a silent bill through the Senate to dismantle encryption, in the name of protecting the children from exploitation on the internet. While everyone is trying to stay home, healthy, and worry about the next weeks and months of their lives, they're pushing this one through during all the SARS-CoV-2 distraction. It even comes with the specious naming of the Earn It Act. They're trying to get this railroaded through quickly before anyone has a chance to notice, and we can't roll it back. The main issue with this proposed bill is that it actually does nothing whatsoever to protect or prevent child exploitation on the internet, and dismantling encryption across a broad range of products, while threatening companies with significant fees and fines for non-compliance, is fear-mongering. That PG&E was responsible for the California fires, and plead guilty to the manslaughter of 84 people. Only 2 days ago, and already slid off the front page. Evidence is building that a major extraterrestrial impact occurred 12,800 years ago that likely caused global destruction. The impact likely caused the extinction of many large mammal species in North America, including multiple species of elephants/mastodons, giant sloths, giant bears, giant beavers, camels, etc. At this date, there are many sites around the globe that include nanodiamonds, magnetic spherules, and platinum group metals that are associated with such impacts. There is also evidence of major burning of forests and other plant material, black mat layer, and tons of evidence for massive flooding in North America, suggesting floodwater thousands of feet deep caused dramatic erosional effects in northeastern portions of the U.S. Scientists found the first ever living animal, a parasite, that doesn't need oxygen to survive. This was in February. Our discovery confirms that adaptation to an anaerobic environment is not unique to single-celled eukaryotes, but has also evolved in a multicellular, parasitic animal. Hence, H. salmonicola provides an opportunity for understanding the evolutionary transition from anaerobic to an exclusive anaerobic metabolism. In Australia, effectively a war crime our elite forces committed in Afghanistan. Here is the story from ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, which features the video and also a blow-by-blow of the encounter. There's a video of a squad of our SAS confronting a man in a field. He is compliant and unarmed. The SAS guy asks, "Want me to drop this cunt?" a couple of times and is told to radio the superior. He does, but you can't hear the response. He then shoots the man. There have been stories breaking in the past of other very questionable or fucked up activity by the SAS in Afghanistan, but, as far as I know, that never had video accompanying it. The video of this encounter confirms there wasn't some misunderstanding or panic, just a cold-blooded killing. If I may wear my tin-foil hat for a moment, it's terribly convenient for the government and armed forces that this news broke in the middle of this crisis. A lot of people I know either didn't see this break or only read the headline and assumed it was some kind of misunderstanding. We're about to lose the Amazon rainforest to a perpetual feedback loop that will turn it into the savannah. But nobody is talking about it. The 2020 census. I haven't seen anything about it, but I got mine in the mail 2 weeks ago. 2020 presidential election, Afghanistan, Syria or China and USA trade wars, and pretty much all of South America. The second person in history has been cured of HIV. Not treated, cured, as in they no longer have it. This is a huge step in making HIV/AIDS a curable disease. It was a death sentence. If you had it, you could only count your days. After Keith Haring, a very successful artist that died from AIDS, donated a large portion of his net worth to HIV/AIDS research and started the Keith Haring Foundation that focuses on AIDS research and education, it became something people could live with and was no longer an inevitable death. Now, 2 people have had their HIV cured. This is the start of something big. If HIV/AIDS can soon be cured as easy as other STIs, then Keith Haring, Freddie Mercury, and everyone else that have died from AIDS complications will be able to rest easy. How your liberties and freedoms are being destroyed in the US by both parties getting ready to pass the Patriot Act 2.0, called the EARN IT Act. While you're distracted by all this, you'd think 2 parties that hate each other, working together would be newsworthy. Especially if it was about to destroy any remaining privacy you had left. But I guess not. Continue panicking. Major earthquakes happened in the capital of Croatia, Zagreb, last Sunday. Earthquakes are still happening and the big part of the city is damaged. A lot of hospitals were also damaged. Our babies were born in snow, people are left homeless. And the ones who are still in their homes are afraid of what will happen next. Tom Brady now plays for Tampa Bay. Tony Ferguson is finally gonna fight Khabib Nurmagomedov. That last one is actually the biggest kick in the face as far as I'm concerned. These two have never fought. Khabib is 28-0, Tony hasn't lost a fight in 8 years. They've been scheduled to fight each other 4 other times, some crazy shit has happened and the fight was called off. So they finally schedule it for a 5th time and a fucking global pandemic breaks out and is now in danger of canceling their fight a 5th time. It's huge news. Dana says the fight is still on, but if things get really bad in the US over the next few weeks, nobody will give a shit anyway. Khabib vs Tony is quickly turning into a more accursed UFC version of Floyd Mayweather not fighting Manny Pacquiao for too long. As someone who lives in Nashville, it's a shame how the tornado that went through Nashville killed 25 people and destroyed so much, but nobody cared because of COVID-19. President Tsar Putin is about to destroy any last glimmer of democracy in Russia and put himself on the throne once again. He is not afraid of letting everyone know that anyone who opposes him will end up dead. In fact, he is quite happy to be seen as a man you don't want to cross. In the West, he is making the arms manufacturers very happy, making billions of dollars, keeping them busy rearming. These billions could save lives in the current situation with the pandemic. One of Joe Biden's accusers just gave an interview for the first time, and guys, it's bad. He cornered her, penetrated her with his fingers, and got angry when she resisted. I can't get it to link on mobile, but her name is Tara Reid. The Earn It Act, which is basically the government creating an unconstitutional law against the First and Fourth Amendment by removing end-to-end encryption, allowing the government to see all your messages and many other private interactions you've had online. All the shitty bills that are trying to quietly be pushed through. Mostly bailing out multi-billion-dollar companies and trying to make abortion illegal. Texas decided abortion isn't a necessary procedure. Ohio is trying, but Planned Parenthood refuses to shut down. The Earn IT bill passing through Congress right now. The government is removing all encryption of websites, and taking advantage of the current crisis to sneak it through without causing an uproar. 2020 Olympics preparations and Euro 2020 football, soccer, and Liverpool winning the Premier League for the first time in I don't know long, but they won't be. A man from China has more of an impact stopping them than actual football teams. In NYC, 2 13-year-old boys jumped into the Hudson River to swim and disappeared. Bodies are still missing. Would have been major news in NY, but barely anyone knows about it. The US government is trying to slip in an anti-privacy bill that would allow the government to have a backdoor into your internet connections. The Christchurch mosque shooter pleaded guilty today and was convicted of 51 charges of murder, 40 charges of attempted murder, and 1 charge of terrorism. Sentencing is in May. I would hope the locust plaguing East Africa, the Middle East, and the Indian subcontinent. It's describing some swarms as being the size of New York, and they are eating their harvest, threatening widespread famine. I think without coronavirus we would mobilize to try to control this population the way we did for Zika carrying mosquitoes in Americas. The US government trying to pass an anti-child porn law that actually just gives them the ability to search through all of our messages. Thank you for watching Reddit Space. Please subscribe if you love these Reddit stories.